same time, you have a division between the church and state, and also you have a slightly different role of the church. It's not only about faith, it's not only about worshipping their gods, because you have many religions. It is also about somehow helping people to associate, to communicate, to get together. It has also a very important social dimension. Then another paradox is a discussion about, is United States really an empire? It was created as a protest against the old empires, especially the British Empire. It was created as a republic which should be anti-imperial imperial republic, but gradually it has got to a position that it has become the economically and militarily strongest country on the world, and then it obviously is facing all the challenges which empires have ahead. It is rather a reluctant empire, I would say. It's not that empire which wants to dominate all over the world, but if they do something, they are criticized, and if they do not do something, they are also criticized. So they are criticized either way. If they do not intervene, the world is asking, where is America? If they do intervene, the world is criticizing the way how America intervenes. This is another paradox. Then there is well-known paradox of power. You will have lectures about it. Yes, the American president is a really very strong leader, but the system of checks and balances is in many ways hardly comparable to many European countries. So it means the Congress is not just an empty word in America. Everyone knows that the Hill and the Hills in all the states are playing a really crucial and very important role. So, and the system was created like this. This system doesn't believe that the man, human being, is an ideal one. And the politicians are ideal ones. So they must be checked. And this political system is the whole series of checks and balances is extraordinarily interesting. Then another paradox or cleavage between the widespread consumerism on the one hand, mass consumption and so on, and at the same time between the ethos of volunteerism. America is a country of volunteers. And people who really do it, they like it, they like to associate, they like to work together, they like to contribute. And they do it in a massive way, probably incomparable again with many other countries. And this is something what makes this country interesting. When you will get the list of literature which Michael is already working on, we have prepared it because this semester is structured in a very diverse way. It's not just one topic. There are just some, I would say, some selection of topics. But I hope you will have the famous Alexis de Tocqueville book on America, which illuminates a lot about both politics and this ethos of associating volunteerism. Then three last points. It's a country with an interesting work ethics. Americans, in fact, majority of them are working much more and much longer than Europeans. If we would think America is just what we see in some TV series, because this is not the picture of really a genuine America. The picture of genuine America are those who are taking 2 or 3 weeks leaves and they are happy that they have them, and still they have to commute, they have to travel to work, and they are working much more than, for instance, people in France. Yes, they are working and they are living in families, and you have hundreds of books about the crisis of families in the Western world and in America, high rate of divorces and so on. But still, in comparison with Europe, if you look at data on demography, you still see that America is somehow able to fill the gap of its population, unlike we here in Europe, including in Slovakia. And finally, obviously, what is fascinating in this country is what has our forefathers drawn there. In the 19th century, 20th century, a country with a promise of an American dream, which was, yes, criticized, ridiculed, objected, but still somehow is in the air, and some people were able to achieve it, and a country which was able to integrate people from different races, different nations, different religions, unlike probably any other, and it is still able, even if again, paradox, with the not only as the impact of terrorist attacks, but in general, during the last 2 decades, there are renewed discussions about migration and immigration to America. So then you have a new president, and then you have crisis, and for young people, you have also a country which you can visit without visa, thanks to hard work of both Americans or diplomats. So these are 3 additional reasons why I think this country is, and this continent is worth of attention. And I didn't yet mention Canada, which is a very separated, very strong, and very interesting part of the North American territory. So I hope that we will be able to offer you also something on Canadian experience. If it is called the Center for North American Studies, it obviously could and should include Canada. Well, this is all as for me, and now I'm happy to introduce you to very special guests. The first will be Olga Delfashova, who will talk about transatlantic trends. Many of you probably know her face from TV or know her words and analysis from dozens and dozens of articles, books, and studies. Olga is well-known Slovak scholar in the field of sociology, especially public opinion, but also gender studies. She has been contributing regularly to annual report on Slovakia, global report on Slovakia, with chapters on public opinion, but also with chapters on gender issues. She spent some time at the research institutions in Austria, 2 of them, Institute for Wissenschaften mentioned, and another analytical center. Then she spent some time in Florence in the European Institute in 1999, and then almost a year, couple of months in Washington as she's an alumni of Reagan Fassel Scholarship. I just asked her to bring her last publication, which you can find on the internet page of the Institute, which Olga is coming from, Institute for Public Affairs, and I'm privileged to be also a part of this group. And this is quite interesting piece for this course. It is Nurturing Atlanticists in Central Europe, case of Slovakia and Poland. So you will get some background material already from this. What does it mean to be an Atlanticist? And Olga was both the editor and co-author of this study. And then there is another one, which is not in so much about Atlanticism, because the title is National Populism in Slovakia. Olga has co-edited and co-authored it. With this, I'd love you to take the floor and to address such a really very numerous group of people who are interested in North America.
Thank you. Thank you, Martin, for a very kind introduction, and thank you for inviting me. And I'm really very privileged to be one of the first speakers at this first session of the New American Studies at the Economic University. I was asked to make a presentation about a very unique research project. Some of you may have heard about this project, Transatlantic Trends, but I think it's really something very unique and important to have such a research. But at the same time, I'm a little bit in a very unfavorable position here, because I'm going to present the results which are from the survey conducted in June last year. So that means at the time we still hadn't the new president, we hadn't the crisis, and in Slovakia we still did have visa for the United States. But I hope that in spite of this fact, the findings will be interesting for you, and I think it will be also interesting opening of the debate. So, just to be very brief and introduce this project. These findings are from Transatlantic Trend Survey done last year, as I told you, but the project started in